All right, of course, the big question Stacy wrote in and asked is, who should I take #1 overall? I actually had the #1 overall pick in my draft last year, and I went Todd Gurley, and I was very happy with it, but that would be a mistake this year now that he's dealing with an arthritic knee issue. I would say go ahead and go Saquon Barkley. He's ranked #1 pretty much across the board. There's usually some variances when you look at rankings, but just the sheer volume he's going to get. It makes you a little nervous that Odell Beckham Jr.'s gone, and the Giants aren't going to be a great team this year, so he could get keyed in on. But I think it's still worth it, especially in a PPR because he gets the ball thrown to him a lot as well. I also really like Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara, who are ranked just under him. I really don't think you can go wrong with any of those, except for that Alvin Kamara will be splitting a little bit of the carries with Latavius Murray.
So we got a question, are there any great players that aren't necessarily great fantasy players, or are there any players that you wouldn't draft on your fantasy team? For me, I feel like fantasy should be fun. I want to root for the players that are on my team and enjoy watching it. So I tend to steer clear from the players that have a lot of personal drama going on off the field.
All right, Sue reached out to us on Twitter and she wanted to know if there's an optimal ratio for positions by round. I would say you don't have to get quite that technical, but I would definitely recommend, for the most part, going running back first, and then you can kind of alternate. I like to get at least 2 running backs and 2 receivers before I really worry about anything else. Unless something kind of falls into your lap. Last year I thought that a lot of the good receivers had already gone by the time my draft snaked back around to me, since I was the first pick. And so I went ahead and took Travis Kelce because he's a tight end that puts up wide receiver numbers. It might have been a little earlier than most people would have gone tight end, but it worked out well for me. I was very happy that I took him. So there's little things you can do differently like that. General rule though, I would try to get at least a couple running backs and receivers before you go to another position. Your quarterback, I generally don't wait for a certain round. I tend to wait until the first couple people start taking quarterbacks. And then I just get a feel for who's left that I still want. If it seems like they're all starting to go and there's a guy coming up soon that I want, I'll go ahead and take him. But I really think that if you're not getting one of the top few quarterbacks, like a Patrick Mahomes, you should just wait. There's plenty of guys that are kind of all in that middle mix that you can get later, and either in an auction not have to spend as much on, or in your snake draft, you can get some more skill positions first. The other general rule I would say is don't take your kicker until last. They really just, even the best ones don't score enough points to really merit that. And then defense, I would take probably second or third to last. So you can do a lot of different things, but those are just probably the general guidelines to follow. Thanks for the question, Sue.
So we got a question on Facebook. How early is too early to draft your quarterback? If you have your heart set on someone, you can draft them in any round. I know a lot of the pros probably don't agree with that, but you're not a pro, you want to have fun, and this is your league, so do whatever you want to do. With that said, if you are going to go quarterback early, I would suggest going with someone that might be not just a passing quarterback, someone who does some rushing yards, so you can maybe get some points through that as well. Thanks.
All right, we got a Facebook question from Ron who wants to know, if I don't get one of the top 3 tight ends, which are Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Zach Ertz, who should I go after? That's a dilemma, Ron, because it's quite the drop-off from the top tier of tight ends to the rest. So it's something that everyone's trying to decide right now. The next group is probably Evan Ingram from the Giants, Hunter Henry from the Chargers. I also think that Jared Cook from the Saints is in that mix. I honestly am not a huge fan of most of that group. I think if you're going to get a tight end outside of the top 3, you might as well go ahead and stock up on quite a few receivers and running backs first and not take them that early. What I did in one of my drafts was I took 2, hoping that one of those middle guys would pan out for me. Or if you want to go quite a bit later, I do think that there's some rookies that are really talented. We've talked in the past on Sports Brunch about Noah Fant from Denver, who I like because Joe Flacco loves tight ends, and he's in Denver now, and he's also very talented. And then TJ Hawkinson in Detroit. I think that those are 2 rookies that could probably have a good season. You could get them late and possibly get more production out of them than some of those middle tier guys.